Hello! Today I'd like to propose you the recently tested idea on how to decorate a classroom at school or a room at home, for example. The purpose was fastening pictures onto the wall. When decorating our daughter's music classroom, the goal was to locate a great number of portraits on the wall. So I felt like trying the idea I'm going to propose you today. The idea has proven quite successful. It appeals both to us and our music teacher. That's why I find it worth sharing with you. Take a look at the way it works. It is very easy to attach any kind of picture with such small clothes clips. You can locate a picture in any part of a board, either straight or slantwise. This way one can locate a poster, photo, picture, some children's crafts, etc. The idea is mostly meant for those working with children, well, actually not only with children, wherever one can need some visual advertising. For fastening large pictures, clothes clips would be more suitable, especially because you can paint them the color of tubes. In our case, we've decided to use such binder clips. They are available in different size options. I mean, it is a rather multifunctional device for attaching pictures. So, let's start. I'm going to make large boards, like the ones we've made for our Youth Creativity Center. Yesterday I tried and made a few half the size. They are quite good as well, as we were asked to make some smaller boards for side walls. However, large panels are more universal. Now I'm going to make ones for my daughter's rooms. You know, teenagers like decorating their rooms with all kind of pictures. This way we'll both save the walls from spoiling and make this wall art look neater. So we've reached mutual consent to locate the pictures on such boards. So for a large panel I take a newspaper spread. I cover the newspaper not to let it distract me from working. Another attraction of this idea is an opportunity to utilize all tube remainders. In this case, daughter would like me to make it unicolored, while for the youth center we've used black and white tubes as well as yellowed, old newspaper colored tubes to match the curtains. It was the case when clothes clips were perfect. They fit the color grade. Now I'm going to work with single color tubes. I found some very old tubes. I wrote them very long ago and there were too few of them for a big item, so they'd been biding their time. I've painted them twice. Newspaper print has become almost invisible. Luckily, the tube length is equal to newspaper double page, so lengthening is not required. If your tubes are not long enough, you can either lengthen them or just glue short tubes together like this. Anyway, the joints will be hidden and nothing will be seen, as we are going to unite a few layers of tubes when making a shield. A few words on the glue used. I've used universal polymeric adhesive dragon, as well as hot glue gun. I can recommend both. As you know, the drawback of a glue gun is getting kind of threads like these, which you have to either tear off with your fingers later or cut with the help of scissors while working. Well, I did try to do without them and I failed, so I just trimmed the surface later, not to get distracted when working. A glue gun has to be well heated for good bonding and to prevent the tubes from ungluing later. So the frame is ready. The first process is as follows. I place the first tube like this to fit it into the frame. This direction is quite clear. Further, I don't bother myself lengthening the tubes. Take a look, please. I just place them parallel to each other this way. Here the tubes don't reach the frame, but there's no problem. As I've already said, we are going to create a few layers, so the following layers will fasten the tubes to each other. So I locate the tubes like this. Here you can cut the tubes into halves, for example, and locate them this way. Well, it's up to you and your imagination. Just make sure your shield space is covered more or less smoothly. If the tube doesn't reach the edge, I add another tube piece. Well, actually, even if the tubes are not distributed in a smooth way, it's quite okay as there will be several more layers on top. I'd recommend you 5-6 layers. Here I can cut the tube and make use of both parts. This way I fill the whole area with tubes. At first in one direction. Now glue the tubes to the frame. 1, 2, rotate the tube a bit and press. What I like about glue gun is a split-second result. Just rotate the tube with a slight hand movement and it's fastened. So you can be sure it is not going to slide away. 1, 2. In the first row it goes quite easy and you don't need much glue, because so far there's nothing to fasten to. Further, when you have layers underneath, you'll need more glue, but it won't get more difficult. So 1, 2, drop some glue onto the conjunction points. The first layer is finished. As I've already mentioned, my tubes are long, so they mostly overlap the whole surface, but don't be distracted by the tubes located like this, apart from one side and apart from another side. Take a look, please. The following layers are going to fasten the first layer of tubes and keep them from sliding apart. Let's locate the next layer of tubes like this, for example. The matter is, I've created quite a number of such shields already, so I've decided beforehand how to direct the tubes. But my example is not a rule. You can think of any direction you like. One more note. Before making the shields like this, I tried creating a cloth of a more irregular shape. Let's call it cloud-shaped. I did try, but I didn't like the result much. Well, maybe it was because I was working alone, or maybe because the classroom required a more well-ordered shape. Anyway, I don't give up the idea. Maybe someday I'll give another try to such irregular boards. So far I'm sharing what has proven successful. Here I've got the second layer. As for the gaps, you can fill them with the tube cards. You don't necessarily have to place a new tube segment close to the previous one. You can indent a little. The main task is filling the space as much as possible. The more space you fill in, the more fastening options you'll get in the next layer. Then I've decided to supplement my slantwise tubes with horizontal and vertical rows. In case your tubes don't reach the edge, you can locate them staggered like this. One tube projecting from the top border, the next one projecting from the bottom border. This way we'll get perfect conditions for fastening the next layer. Try to locate the tubes more or less smoothly for a nice look. So this way. Let's glue the joints. As you can see, now we've got many more points to join the tubes. The process is becoming more laborious, but the shield will be stronger. Got it? I've already started the third layer. In total I make usually 5-6 layers. Well, it's up to your liking. I personally have made 6-layered shields. Continue this way. So the third row was vertical. Now I'm finishing the fourth horizontal row. And I'm planning 2 more rows. Slantwise like the first 2 layers. The following row will be slantwise, the 5th one. The 6th layer will be located slantwise this way. Now I'm creating the last layer. Take a note please that I'm trying my best to locate the tubes of the top rows, the 5th and the 6th one, between the tubes of the first and the second row. This way I'm making the shield look fuller. Again, I drop glue to every joint, rotate a tube with a side hand movement, and press it thoroughly. For liquid glue like glue gun, it is quite enough. As for Dragon or any other universal polymeric adhesive, it doesn't fasten in a moment, so I try my best to avoid shifting the tubes. After shaping the shield, I leave it under some press for a few hours. If I make several shields at once, I put them one onto another, interlaying them with some polyethylene, and place some weight onto the top of all the shields. Sometimes I leave them this way till morning, after which they are strong enough to endure any impact.
Вот такой щит получился.
As a
Если
result, I've
кому-то
got a shield like
эта идея
this.
придется по душе,
If any of you like the idea, I'll be happy.